Hi everybody, getting on a bit of a roll here. Today I'm gonna talk about my favorite records from the year 2000. Lately there's been a few of those albums mentioned on their 20th anniversary. Radiohead's OK Computer, Radiohead's Kid A is 20 years old. That's a record that has really grown on me over the years. I'm not a huge Radiohead fan, but I have grown to love that record, plus OK Computer. In Rainbows I really like. But when I heard about that anniversary, it reminded me of what an incredible year 2000 was for music. I clearly remember putting together my top 10 list. At the time, I don't know what was on it. I know a few that were on it. I don't know what the ordering was. But I am going to show some of my favorite records from that year, given that we're 20 years out. There's a few records that I love from that year that I only have on CD. I put a few notes here. The Go-Betweens, Friends of Rachel Worth, Mojave 3, Excuses for Travelers, PJ Harvey, Stories for the City, Outcast, Stankonia, and then the incredible Slobberbone record, Everything You Thought Was Right Was Wrong Today. So I will not be talking about those aside from just pointing them out right here. And here we go, notebook away. To start, the great Jayhawks record, Smile. This is their second, I think it's their second post Mark Olson record. This, I think, has been issued twice on vinyl. This was a reissue 2014. This was their true power pop, or not even power pop, just pop record. Songs that should have been hits. I'm Gonna Make You Love Me, Somewhere in Ohio, Better Days, Smile. This is just a really, really good record during the Jayhawks' peak years. Right here, I've talked about this record here before, the Marah record, Kids in Philly. Marah, one of the best bands ever out of Philadelphia, if you ask me. This was their second record after their brilliant debut. I saw them a ton during this period. I used to drive down to Philadelphia to see them. I saw them in New York, saw them at Jersey Shore. My hair's a little bit ridiculous today. Now it's even more ridiculous. Let's see. Let's go with that. So this is a tremendous, I always say tremendous, a great, great second record. Marah made two fantastic records. Their debut and this one, Kids in Philly, they were a true rock and roll band. Next is the second Mermaid Avenue record, Wilco and Billy Bragg. This is underrated. I don't know if I've ever even seen those photos. There's Jeff, John Sturrett, Billy Bragg, of course the late Jay Bennett, who I've mentioned many times my dog is named after, and Ken Coomer, the great first drummer of Wilco. A lot of sort of underrated, I'm really trying to get this hair right. It's a mess, hasn't been cut in a decade. Airline to Heaven, which for everybody watching this, I've always said when I do depart this world, that's the song I want played. If any of you are there, I'm sure all of you will be there. But some really, Remember the Mountain Bed is one of the greatest Jeff Tweedy songs. It's like 400 minutes long. It's obviously these songs were all written by Woody Guthrie, and the music came from Wilco and Billy Bragg. What else is on here? Secret of the Sea, a really, really great song. Stetson Kennedy, a great underrated 2000 release. I don't think that even made my top 10 when I did it. Haven't even opened this one yet. The Lambchop record, Nixon. Great one. I saw them on this tour in Prospect Park. Lambchop headlined and the Mendoza line opened. I used to live across the street from Prospect Park in Brooklyn. So I saw them right around this tour, and it was a heck of a show. Also around that tour, I saw these guys, Yola Tango, with one of their best, and then Nothing turned itself inside out, with I think the photographer is Crudson. I have one of his books, excuse me. That's his cover shot. Yola Tango, just Gregory Crudson, there it is, just consistently puts out great records. An all-time sad song, Tears Are in Your Eyes, is in this. Our Way to Fall is a great one. This is a beautiful record. What a year 2000 was, and we still have a bunch to go. Also unopened, Eels, Daisies of the Galaxy. This is right around the time that I started to get into Eels. I went through a period, probably a 10-year period, where they were one of my favorite bands. End Times might be my favorite of theirs. Electroshock Blues is great. This one's great. Grace Kelly Blues, Packing Blankets, Jeannie's Diary. They were on fire during this period. So the Eels, Daisies of the Galaxy. Bunch that are unopened. I gotta start listening to my records. Emmylou Harris, Red Dirt Girl, one of her best. I remember whenever I hear this record, I think of Belgium, because I was overseas with my brother. It was the first time really I'd ever traveled. I was, I don't know, 26 or something, 27. I hadn't been out of the US much, if at all. And we went to Amsterdam, London, Brussels. We made a short stop, and we were on a train driving through Belgium. I remember I listened to this front to back, so I think of it every time. I clearly don't listen to this record. I do listen to it digitally, and I will open it up this weekend. A great record. My Antonia, I think it's with Dave Matthews. What a track. I talked about this the other day. Maybe the best record of 2000. The Avalanches debut, Since I Left You. Just got it on vinyl. It's been sitting in my pile to listen to, so I will get to it in the coming days. This is a ridiculously good record. I'm plowing through these, still under 10 minutes. I'm trying to keep these a little bit shorter because I can tend to meander, if you haven't noticed. Already talked about this. This sort of inspired it. This is the 10-inch version of, maybe it's the only version on vinyl, I'm not sure, of Radiohead's Kid A. I think most critics would consider this the best record of the year. Some would say the best record of the decade. I wouldn't, but this is a great record. This may have been I got two left. This may have been my favorite at the time when 2000 happened, and that's Elliott Smith's Figure 8. This is a great, great record. I saw him on this tour. I saw him play at where was it? Irving Plaza in New York City. Played a short set, blasted through these songs, closed with the Beatles cover. It was incredible. And then I saw him a few years later, right before he died, at the Knitting Factory in New York. And that was not a great show. It was a sad show. And we lost him not long after that. So I miss Elliott Smith. I listened to all of his records. He's sort of the Nick Drake of my generation. And this is probably his most uplifting record. And then finally, if I look back, this is my favorite record of 2000, I would say, probably. And this is Richard Buckner's The Hill. This record is a collection of songs based on a book called The Spoon River Anthology. Edgar Lee Masters, I think, is the author, and the premise of the book is he's telling stories of people in a graveyard, their lives. Richard Buckner initially put this out as one song, however long the record is, 30, 40 minutes. He then broke it up subsequently because people wanted the individual tracks. This is the back end of his amazing four record run that started with Bloomed, and then my favorite Richard Buckner record, Devotion and Doubt, and then Since, which was on a major label, MCA. Devotion and Doubt may have been as well. And then he left his major label and put out The Hill, which I think was originally on a label called Overcoat, and then Merge reissued it. Merge puts out all of his records, which is one of the main reasons why I love Merge. That's 2000. What a year. One of the best years of music for me. Maybe I'll do more of these. I remember 1997. I think 97 is probably my favorite year in music in my life. You know, a lot of the best years for me preceded me being here, you know, in the 60s. But 97, maybe I'll do that next. But 2000, what a year. Close out a record I wish more people knew about. I've mentioned this record. I don't know if I've done it in this, but I saw it right before I grabbed my 2000 pile and was reminded this is my, and I guess it's relevant since this is my favorite record of the 2000s. Yes, 2000 to 2010. I used to post some articles, some music articles on a few websites. I remember I did my best of the 2000s in 2010, and this was #1. It was probably followed by Josh Ritter's The Historical Conquest of Josh Ritter, but this was one, and it's the Wrens album, The Meadowlands. One of the best records ever to come out of New Jersey. That includes Bruce Springsteen. This came out, it says 2006. I don't know if that's when it was reissued or if that's when it came out. So I thought it came out in 2003, but Absolutely Kosher, which is a label that was, I think they're defunct now, but they were local Bay Area. I think they were in Oakland or Berkeley, I think. The Wrens have not put out an album since this. They've been working on an album for 15, 16, 18, whatever it is, years. And they actually have a shirt that I had. I ripped it, so I can't wear it anymore. And I think it said the Wrens keeping fans waiting since 1989, because I think 89 is when they put out their first record. But this record, The Meadowlands, is a masterpiece. I know I say stuff like that a lot. Of course, the records that I talk about are usually the ones that I really love, but it is sort of, to me, the probably the best record ever recorded about moving into sort of maturity, or, you know, when you have kids and sort of your youth sort of, you know, some people, you bid farewell, and this is sort of about that experience. I don't have any kids, but I still related to it, given the age I was at when this came out and the age I am now. The Wrens, The Meadowlands, a beautiful, striking record. That's it for 2000. I'm sure I forgot some records. It was a truly phenomenal year. And thank you everyone who is watching these videos and subscribing to my channel. I'm just doing it for fun, and it does mean a lot to me that people, I said this in the last video, that people care what I have to say about music, and hopefully you are learning about some records and artists that you otherwise may not have known about. So hope you all have a nice weekend, and I'll see you soon.